muss in Deutschland kommen und muss sagen, den Frieden wollen wir, aber diese ununterbrochene Entrückung lehnen wir ab und die Entbehrung ertragen wir nicht.
May 1940, German. Tanks are rapidly encircling hundreds of thousands of British and French soldiers along the coast of France. The troops are pinned against the sea, nothing but water behind them, the enemy ahead. Luftwaffe bombers circle above the beaches, turning the retreat into hell. The situation seems hopeless. Over 400,000 soldiers are trapped, cut off from their main forces, with the sea at their backs and advancing German troops before them. It should have been the end, mass surrender or annihilation of the Allies' finest units. Salvation appears impossible, yet it was then that one of the most incredible rescue operations in history began, the evacuation from Dunkirk, immortalized in history as Operation Dynamo. It all started with an unexpected pause in the German advance. On May 24, 1940, the Panzer divisions of General Guderian, already just 15 kilometers from Dunkirk, suddenly received orders to halt. This halt order from Hitler remains a subject of debate among historians. Some believe the Führer wanted to preserve his tanks for future offensives, while others argue he yielded to Hermann Göring's promises that the Luftwaffe alone could destroy the encircled forces. Whatever the reason, those 3 days of delay proved a priceless gift for the Allies. On May 26th, the British Admiralty made the decision to begin the evacuation. The operation was codenamed Dynamo, after the generator room in the basement of Dover Castle where the initial planning took place. The original plan called for evacuating just 45,000 men in 2 days, a modest expectation that would later be surpassed beyond imagination. The challenges facing the organizers seemed insurmountable. The port of Dunkirk had been nearly destroyed by German bombing, its harbor clogged with sunken ships. Large naval vessels couldn't approach the shore due to shallow waters. The soldiers massed on the beaches made perfect targets for German aircraft. Their solution came unexpectedly, a stroke of genius in its simplicity. The Admiralty issued a call for help to the civilian fleet. Along coastal towns and villages, the plea spread. All vessels capable of crossing the channel are needed, hundreds answered. Fishing trawlers, river ferries, pleasure yachts, even private motorboats. In total, over 800 civilian vessels took part, their owners and crews displaying extraordinary courage by sailing into the bomb-ridden chaos to rescue strangers in uniform. The sight that greeted these volunteers at Dunkirk was hellish. Oil storage tanks burned, blackening the sky. The beaches were littered with corpses. Soldiers stood neck-deep in water, waiting for hours to be saved. German planes strafed and bombed relentlessly, turning the evacuation into a waking nightmare. The evacuation process was executed with British precision. Small boats ferried men from the shore to larger ships waiting offshore. Some civilian vessels made multiple trips under fire. The fishing trawler Massey Shore distinguished itself by completing 7 dangerous crossings. The operation lasted 9 grueling days from May 26 to June 4, 1940. When it ended, the results defied all expectations. Instead of the planned 45,000, 338,226 men were evacuated, including 198,000 British and 140,000 French and Belgian troops. But victory came at a steep cost. 6 British destroyers and over 200 small vessels were lost. Approximately 68,000 men were killed or captured. All heavy equipment had to be abandoned on the beaches. The historical significance of Operation Dynamo cannot be overstated. Saving the core of the British Army allowed the UK to continue the fight. On June 4th, Winston Churchill delivered his iconic speech, "We shall fight on the beaches. We shall never surrender," words that became a rallying cry for resistance. Dunkirk was more than a military operation. It was a symbol of national unity, where civilian sailors in tiny boats saved an entire army. It's a story of despair transformed into hope, of what seemed like certain defeat, becoming the first step toward eventual victory. Decades Later, Operation Dynamo still captivates the imagination. What drove these people? Duty, patriotism, or something greater? That spark which compels ordinary people to perform extraordinary acts in moments of crisis? Perhaps the answer lies in those little boats that changed the course of a great war.